Hello everyone, it's been a while. I am back with another camera. This is the Panasonic Lumix G7. This is a quick little unboxing. So we got the body over here, the hood, the lens, strap, battery charger. We got the USB cable and the battery. So with this camera, it came in two flavors, the all black and the silver and black. I was getting sick and tired of the all black cameras. I went with the silver and black edition. Looks pretty good, I think. Before we get into the review, let's talk about why I got this camera to begin with. Some of the main reasons were because it shoots 4K. Obviously 4K isn't something that is necessary nowadays, but it's almost like you're future-proofing a lot of your videos, because in the future 4K will be the standard. Keep in mind, if you do shoot in 4K, you are going to need a screen that can handle that resolution. Luckily for me, I have the 5K iMac, so it can handle way more than this. Usually a faster processor would work, something like an i5 or an i7, and a lot of RAM. I have 24 gigs of RAM installed on my iMac, so it can handle this footage without any problem. The price also, it's probably one of the cheapest 4K cameras on the market. This has really good autofocus, continuous autofocus to be exact, and that's something I'm a big fan of. It has the fully articulated touchscreen, so you can do the whole selfie mode thing, and it's a touchscreen. It has one of these cool features where you can touch the screen where you want it to focus, so similar to the iPhone. There's a time-lapse mode on here built into the camera. Like I said, it shoots 4K at 30 frames per second and 24 frames per second. 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is pretty cool. You could also obviously shoot 30 and 24 frames per second at 1080, but obviously also 4K. You could shoot slow motion only on 1080, which is more than enough, which is 60 frames per second. It's small, as you can see. It has a DSLR form factor, which is very comfortable to hold. Probably one of the best kit lenses that I've ever seen. It's a 14 to 42, 3.5 to 5.6 aperture, of course, which is typical for kit lenses. And it has image stabilization in it. It has Wi-Fi. I love Wi-Fi. I mean, a lot of the cameras nowadays are including Wi-Fi, but I love that this has it. You can connect it to your smartphone. If you want to look for Wi-Fi, here we have the iPhone. Tap on the iPhone. And once the app is open, it allows for full control of the camera from the phone. Then go to live control. And from here, you can control the area where you want it to focus. As you can see, you can control the white balance. You can even control the ISO. And of course, you can adjust the f-stop and the shutter speed. And I also love the fact that you can record a video from the phone simply by pressing the red button over here. It starts to record a video. Really fast autofocus, probably one of the best autofocuses that I've ever seen. Super fast. Let me just show you real quick. You can hear the beep. Here I am, pointed all over. I mean, I've shot with Canon, I've shot with Sony, Nikon. I don't think I've seen an autofocus system this fast, ever. This is insane. If you can find something faster than this, please let me know, because I would want it. That's insane. ISO goes up to 25,600, which is more than enough. When it comes to video, I don't shoot anything more than 1600 ISO. The weight, to be exact, is 410 grams with the kit lens. So super light. It's a little heavier than the Sony a6000, which is that camera that I'm recording this with. 49 autofocus points, which isn't a lot compared to today's standards, but 49 is more than enough. And this has a really cool feature where I think you can customize where you want your autofocus points, which is pretty cool. The lens that I'm probably gonna end up getting is the 12 to 35 2.8 lens, constant aperture of 2.8. Some of the video and images that I've seen come out of that lens are pretty damn good. This is a good lens, but that one is obviously better. Now, one of the drawbacks from, not necessarily a drawback, but something to keep in mind if you do get this is considered a micro 4/3 camera, is that the crop factor on this for the lenses, it's pretty huge. Usually for APS-C sensor cameras is a 1.5 to 1.6 crop factor. This is 2 times of a crop factor. So for example, this is a 14 to 42 lens. This would be more of a 28 to 84. So you'd have to keep that in mind if you go and buy a lens for one of these cameras. When it comes to video, usually the wider the better. The footage seems a little more stable, so that's why I want the 12 to 35, which will give me an equivalent of 24 to 70, which is probably some of my favorite focal lengths, since that's one of the lenses that I primarily use on my Canon 6D for shooting. Something else that I don't like about this is that it feels really cheap. It's very plasticky. Something that I'm gonna have to get used to, since I'm used to dealing with cameras that feel a little heavier, a little more rugged, especially DSLRs. Even some of the Sony cameras that I have, they feel a lot better than this. But, you know, do not judge a book by its cover. Just because it feels that way doesn't mean that it won't perform. So overall though, it's a pretty great camera from the reviews that I've seen and some of the footage that I'll show to you guys later that I actually shot with this. One thing about the Micro Four Thirds system is that they have so many lens options, because you can put on here Panasonic lenses. You can also use Olympus lenses and even super old vintage lenses. Some might not even require an adapter. So we have a lot of options for lenses. Oh yeah, flash too. Not that I'll be using that much, but it's cool to have that on there. So yeah guys, that about does it for the Lumix G7. Great little camera, highly recommended. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I will leave a link up to all of these things here on the description. Highly recommend this camera. If you want 4K and you're on a budget, this is the way to go. Absolutely. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the camera.